Welcome to Speak English for You.
Hello and welcome back to Speak English for You. I'm your host.
It is so great to be here today.
I am so happy to have you. And for everyone listening, I just want to say, learning a language isn't just about grammar or vocabulary.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. It's also about understanding social interactions. And today we are doing a deep dive into something that makes, well, pretty much all of us incredibly uncomfortable. We are talking about the awkward silence.
Just hearing the phrase kind of makes my shoulders tense up a little bit.
I know, right? Okay, so I want you, the listener, to picture this. You step into an elevator, the metal doors slide shut, and you realize you are completely alone with a stranger.
A classic scenario.
It really is.
Thank God.
And it is quiet in there. Like, too quiet. You hear the low hum of the lights, the cables grinding, and almost immediately you feel the subtle, invisible pressure building up in the air.
Yes, pressing right against your chest.
Exactly. And your brain just starts spinning. You are frantically searching your mind for literally anything to say. Like, should I bring up the weather? Should I complain about the air conditioner?
Anything to just break that quiet.
Yes, you're desperate. So today, our mission is to figure out why. Why do our bodies react with such intense, palpable panic when there is absolutely no physical danger inside that elevator?
It's such a visceral scenario, but it is entirely universal. That elevator ride feels way less like a normal commute and much more like a pressure cooker.
It really does. So what is actually happening to us?
Well, today we are unraveling the psychology and honestly, the neurology behind why we treat a simple, harmless pause in a conversation as a literal evolutionary threat.
An evolutionary threat. That is so wild to think about.
It is. We are going to look at how our modern social expectations completely clash with our primal wiring. And more importantly, how we can flip that perspective.
Which I think is the best part, because we can actually use silence to our advantage, right?
Precisely. Once you understand the actual mechanics of silence, like what is happening in your brain and the other person's brain, you can stop being a victim to the quiet.
I love that. Okay, let's unpack this. Because what strikes me right away in the source material is the sheer speed of this reaction.
The timing is fascinating.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
we are not talking about a full minute of awkward staring. The research points out that it only takes a 2 or 3 second pause in a conversation to trigger sudden, measurable nervousness.
Just 2 seconds.
2 seconds. That is essentially the time it takes to just, take a deep breath.
Yeah, but in a social interaction, it feels agonizing.
It feels like an eternity. We rush to say something, anything at all, even if it's completely meaningless. We will actually interrupt the other person's thinking process just to kill the silence.
We treat it like a monster we have to defeat with words.
Exactly. It feels like, and this is how I picture it, it's like a sudden vacuum in a spaceship. Like the hole just got breached.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Right. Our brains panic and try to frantically plug the hole with whatever conversational debris is lying around, just throwing meaningless small talk at the breach to stop the pressure from dropping.
That instinct to patch the hole is deeply neurological. If you think about what is happening in your body during those 2 seconds, your nervous system completely bypasses logic.
Because logically, we know we're safe.
Exactly. Intellectually, you know silence is not dangerous, it doesn't hurt you, the person next to you isn't angry. But your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, it just sounds an alarm.
So we get an actual physical response.
Oh, absolutely. Your body gets a microdose of adrenaline, your heart rate ticks up slightly, your vocal cords might even tense up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're reacting exactly as if a physical threat is present. You're basically treating a quiet human being like a predator about to pounce, simply because they stopped emitting sound.
That is almost comedic when you put it that way. We are physically bracing for impact just because someone stopped vibrating their vocal cords.
It sounds silly, but it's hardwired. For most of human history, out in the wild, constant ambient noise was the baseline of safety.
Like birds chirping, leaves rustling, people talking.
Right? Sudden collective silence in a forest usually meant one thing: a predator was nearby, and everyone needed to hide.
So we just brought that ancient survival hardware into the office building.
Exactly. The environment changed, but the primal association between sudden silence and imminent danger remains.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, why does the panic feel so uniquely social today? Because it's not like I am standing in the elevator secretly worried the guy from accounting is going to eat me.
No, of course not.
The fear feels intensely personal, and the sources suggest this is where our evolutionary hardware collides with our modern social conditioning.
That is exactly what's happening. We are conditioned from a very young age to believe that successful interactions are relentlessly full and fast.
Like if the conversational machine is working correctly, there shouldn't be any gaps at all.
Right. And the conditioning is heavily reinforced by media, television, movies, even other podcasts.
Oh, totally. Because when you watch a movie, you are watching a highly polished, edited script.
Exactly. Think about a fast-paced drama. One actor finishes their line, and the other actor immediately fires back.
There is no stumbling, there's no searching the ceiling for the right word.
And absolutely zero dead air.
Mm.
Editors intentionally cut out natural human pauses to keep the pacing snappy.
So we consume thousands of hours of this, and we just subconsciously internalize it as normal.
We see it as the gold standard for reality.
Though wait, let me push back on that a little bit. Is that entirely artificial? Because, when I meet someone and we just instantly click, there really is very little dead air.
Sure, chemistry plays a role.
Yeah, the banter is snappy, we finish each other's sentences. Are we sure Hollywood invented this anxiety, or did they just capture humans at their absolute most charismatic?
You're touching on a really important distinction there. Conversational chemistry is absolutely real. But the source material clarifies the trap here.
Okay, what's the trap?
Hollywood takes the rarest, top 1% of charismatic human connection and presents it as the baseline standard for every single daily interaction.
Ah, I see. So we expect every conversation to be a movie scene.
Right. Real, everyday communication requires cognitive load. People need time to process information.
But because we measure our lives against an invisible script, we expect perfection.
Exactly. We step into an elevator with a stranger and expect Aaron Sorkin-level dialogue. We set ourselves up to fail.
So when we hit a completely natural pause, we don't interpret it as processing time.
No, we interpret it as a catastrophic failure.
Here's where it gets really interesting, at least for me. Because we don't have a director to yell cut, our brains have to fill that void, and our internal monologue gets so dark during an awkward silence.
It really does. Fear of judgment takes completely over the steering wheel.
Right. Because the other person isn't speaking, we lose our input data. We don't actually know what they're thinking.
So we assume the absolute worst.
Yes. It's like the brain in silence is like a terrible, deeply paranoid mystery writer.
A paranoid mystery writer, I like that.
Yeah, because it has no dialogue to work with, it instantly hallucinates the most dramatic negative plot twist possible. Like, they think I'm boring, or I said something stupid, or they do not like me.
It manufactures certainty, even if that certainty is self-deprecating.
Exactly. It writes a tragedy out of thin air just because it can't handle a blank page. And the truth is, the other person is probably just thinking or enjoying the quiet.
What's fascinating here is the shared human tragedy of this dynamic.
Oh, the coffee shop example.
Yes, picture a crowded coffee shop, two people sitting across from each other. A sudden pause falls over their conversation.
And both of them are silently panicking.
Exactly. Both assume the other person is judging them harshly. Person A is staring into their cup thinking, they think I'm unintelligent.
While person B is thinking, they think I'm incredibly boring.
Right. Both are suffering a physiological stress response. But in reality, both are just trapped in their own heads, reacting to a phantom threat.
It's a shared hallucination of judgment. Neither one is actually judging the other.
We just become so hyper-focused on managing our own internal discomfort that we completely forget the other person is just as vulnerable to the quiet.
So what does this all mean? If we understand that this monster of silence is just a fiction created by conditioning and our own insecure brains, we can stop running from it.
We can actually look at the profound value of embracing the quiet.
Because the source material reveals that silence is actually where real connection happens.
Precisely. And the ultimate proof of this isn't in a boardroom, it's with your closest friend.
Right. I want everyone listening to visualize sitting on a really comfortable couch with your absolute best friend.
You can just sit there for an hour in total silence, scrolling on your phones, and it feels completely fine.
It feels warm. It feels safe. It is the exact opposite of that exhausting performance in the elevator.
Because you trust the structural integrity of the relationship. You don't feel the need to perform.
It proves that silence itself isn't awkward. It's our relationship to the silence that changes things.
This raises an important question, though. How much of our daily social exhaustion just comes from this pressure to perform?
So much of it. We spend massive amounts of cognitive energy frantically ensuring there are no gaps.
Making sure we sound witty and engaged, we burn out trying to be our own media editors.
And when we constantly rush to beat that 2-second clock, we end up saying things we don't mean. We find ourselves agreeing to things we don't want to do just to keep the conversation going.
We surrender our agency to the void.
Yes. We agree to an extra project at work because the 2 seconds of quiet after the boss asked felt too heavy. Or we say yes to a dinner we are dreading.
Embracing the pause gives you your autonomy back. It gives your brain the necessary space to actually think.
So you can choose your words carefully.
Exactly. It ensures what you say next is an intentional choice, not just a fear-based defense mechanism.
Silence is not empty. It is full of possibility.
It fundamentally shifts your communication. You stop reacting and you start responding.
Wow. Okay, let's bring this all together. We have covered a lot of ground today. To summarize, we've learned that silence is not the enemy. It isn't dangerous.
Not all.
The panic we feel is just a byproduct of movies, primal misfires, and our own paranoid brains. Real quiet is just room for you to think.
And knowing the theory is only half the battle, the source material has a specific challenge for you to try this week.
Ooh, homework time. What is it?
Sometime this week, when there is a pause in a conversation, maybe with a colleague or an acquaintance, do not fill it.
Just let it hang there.
Yes. Resist the urge to throw small talk at the vacuum. Instead, just count to 5 in your head.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is going to feel like an eternity.
It will feel like skydiving. Your brain will scream at you to clear your throat or check your phone, but just stay in it and observe.
And what happens?
They might speak up. You might find much better words. Or you might both just breathe. All outcomes are fine. Just prove to your nervous system that the threat isn't real.
I challenge everyone to try that. And as you experiment with this, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought.
I love a good final thought.
Well, we talked about how rushing to fill the silence makes you agree to things you don't want. So could mastering the 5-second pause be the ultimate quiet superpower for setting boundaries?
Oh, that's powerful.
Right. Think about your next negotiation. When no one is speaking, who actually holds the power in the room? The person nervously babbling, or the person unafraid of the silence?
Definitely the person unafraid of the silence.
Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the awkward silence. I hope you all get to practice this and enjoy some peaceful quiet today.
It's been a pleasure.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives. Until then, keep speaking English for you.